Hello. So we had chapter 8, vocabulary and concepts. Our group members were Kayla, myself, Andrea, and Nick. Our objectives were to explain what teachers should consider when choosing terms for study, explain the importance of connecting new vocabulary to schema, and describe strategies that support these connections, and describe the strategies asking students to explore words in relationship to their context and to each other. So I had the first unit, and the intro talked about frame of mind. So it is crucial for students to understand the meaning of words for them to understand the text. Skipping, vocabulary comprehension will compromise the entire lecture. So traditionally, vocabulary assignments consisted of assigning a list of words to be searched and defined to prepare students for a quiz. However, this was not the most effective way to learn new words. Oftentimes, students would memorize these terms for a quiz and then forget them once the quiz was done. So, having a deeper understanding of words and by extension the concepts related to them results from interacting with content area terms in many ways, specifically using methods that guide students in forming associations between words and ideas. So, it is crucial to connect their previous knowledge to the new knowledge that is being taught. So, some considerations for teachers when choosing terms for study. You have to be very mindful of what the reading material is and words that your students might not know, rather than just choosing random words from online lists. Um, so, firsthand experiences are the best way to learn new words. Words are what we use to explain slash comprehend concepts, and understanding words and concepts are interconnected. However, sometimes it's not possible to have first-hand experiences in the classroom. So, um, mimicking or presenting or allowing students to have vicarious experiences becomes the next best option. So, what are concepts? Similar to schemata, concepts are a way of organizing a large variety of things that share some characteristic, which helps form a coherent group. So it makes learning easier rather than remembering every individual example within a group. You basically just aggregate these items that share similar characteristics. So I put a little graph right here to illustrate this. So the top or the superordinate term or main idea is big cat family, and then there's subordinate classes. So there's the genus 1 cats, genus 2, and genus 3. And so that's a way that, someone studying like zoology would sort of like classify these animals. Okay, so a concept network is essential to learning. Every example must share a trait, feature, characteristic, or property. This helps students think about relevant attributes. So critical attributes are shared by all examples, but variable attributes are shared by some, but not all. And next is Kayla's unit. Thank you.
So the section that I decided to focus on focuses more on what makes a good graphic organizer versus a not so effective graphic organizer. And graphic organizers are these things that are very visual and used to make connections among the key concepts that you're teaching. They help students anticipate what is coming, how they relate to one another, and there's no like one size fits all when it comes to graphic organizers. Different organizers might work for different topics. And the more fun and creative that you are with your organizer makes it more likely for the students to remember the topics that you're teaching. To create a graphic organizer, you sort of want to follow these 6 steps. Analyze the vocabulary and list important words. Not all the words that you use are going to be necessary, and too many words into one spot can be counterproductive. Then you arrange the list of words and decide, how do these words go together? How do they fit together? Then you might add scheme vocabulary terms. So these are terms out of the reading or out of the teaching that are needed to help students understand better. You then evaluate the organizer. How does the organizer fit your needs? Which organizer will fit your needs best? And then introduce them to the learning task. It's important to get students excited about creating an organizer and draw on students' previous knowledge to connect it to new informative terms and vocabulary. If they've already got that preset knowledge, connecting it to new knowledge is going to help them remember and help them sort of make those connections even stronger. As you complete it and you are relating your new information into your organizer, so you've completed the learning task, you've taught the vocabulary, you're putting new information into this graphic organizer to review and edit it. Remember, students might not make the connections you considered or make them in the same ways. So it's less about the product of creating a graphic organizer, and it's more about the process of creating it. You need something that's consistent, coherent, and creative. So I really like this example. This is a graphic organizer for an art class, and it uses the art palette to connect in this creative way, but is still very coherent and easy to read. Consistency is just about students' expectations. If you use the same graphic organizer again and again, they will understand how to use it, and it will create those firmer connections with those words. There were 5 graphic organizer examples that I really wanted to show you and focus on that could be really productive to introduce into your classroom. One is word exploration. This is also called free writing. So the idea is that a student is free writing what they know about the topic. You're not introducing anything but the terms, and you're allowing them to sort of write whatever comes to mind. The next one is brainstorming. I think this is the one that we think of when we think of graphic organizers. It's usually a bubble and then goes off on all these different branches to show how the topics are connected. You can then either take that and go to this next one or just do a list group label. So a list group label has a group of topics, and then we'll have the words underneath it. You can ask students to decide, give them all the groups on top and have the students decide where to list them, or you can give the students this based on the brainstorming from before. This is a knowledge rating chart, and the knowledge rating chart is going to sort of judge how well a student knows the information. So usually you'll give them a list of information, a list of vocabulary, and then have them check off their knowledge of it. This can also be done by giving them prompts. Another one that I've really liked is anticipation charts. So something that understands how much knowledge the students already have in before going into it. All of these graphic organizers are really good for connecting students' previous knowledge to the knowledge that they're going to learn, as well as creating an understanding of what they are going to find out in the chapters and what vocabulary that you need to teach and pre-teach before you start your lessons.
My concept can be described as defining words in the context of their use. It's learning outcome 8.3, which states describe the strategies asking students to explore words in relationship to their context and to each other. This can be done in a couple of ways. The first way, vocabulary self-collection strategy, or VSS. And the way we would do this is by dividing the class into small groups, having them select a word for emphasis, and the teacher would do the same. We present all these words to the entire class and have the students answer the following questions. Where is the word found in the text? What did the team members think this word means? And why did the team think that the class should learn the word? Another way, the concept of definition or CD procedure and the problem solving circles. This can be organized by the general class or category to which the concepts belong, the attributes or properties of the concept and those that distinguish them from other members of the category, or you can provide illustrations of the concept as well, as can be seen by the image. They use tiger for this example. It's of course important to reinforce and extend the vocabulary knowledge and concepts. This can be done in a few ways. Semantic feature analysis, or SFA, establishes a meaningful link between the student's prior knowledge and words that are conceptually related to one another. This can be implemented before or after the exercise. Students can go back and alter their charts with new knowledge that they have learned. Other ways this reinforcement can be driven home is through categorization activities. The book provides us with 3. The first being a concept circle. Concept circle may simply involve putting words or phrases in the sections of the circle and directing students to describe or name the concept relationship among these sections. Another thing that you can do here is leave one of the sections of the circle blank so that the students can fill it out with their own word to help it fit in. It gives them a little more of a challenge. So this one, alliance, treaty, pact. One that you could put in the 4th one conceivably would be truce, and then the name, like a collaborative agreement amongst people, something along those lines. Vocabulary triangles, right? Sentences connecting the words from 2 corners of the triangle. So you start with the 3 words, one for each corner. This one has elude, diabolical, and larceny, and just with every permutation you use a sentence. Magic squares, this one's a little ambitious but effective. Magic squares match terms with definitions, put the number of the definition in the proper space. If their matchups are correct, then the numerical total will be the same for all the rows and all the columns. So in this instance, the magic number is 15. So if they match it all up correctly, the number should equal 15, and that's how they will know they got the combinations correct.